In this video, we're going to talk about normal map, and we're going to create a control of normal map as well. So for those who are completely beginner, what is normal map? Well, normal map is a very important map. It's very widely used, especially in the gaming industry, because a normal map can fake surface details like bumps, grooves, and dents. And you don't need to add any extra geometry to your mesh, to your model in order to make these details. So it's a cheap way to improve the realism of your model. And you can see that in this model, for instance, we have just a few faces. And if I go here in our material, open our material instance, and I reset, I'm not using any normal to this material, the material becomes very different. Go here and add the normal again. You can see that we have these details, these grooves, so the material looks much better using the normal. And I'm not adding any geometry to this mesh over here, so that's make normals very efficient. And right now, as you can see, we already have some normal, but it would be nice if you can increase or decrease how strong this effect is. So maybe I want to make this effect stronger, or maybe I have some material that I want a more subtle effect. So in this video, we're gonna focus to do that. And to do that, we just need to understand a few things about normals. First, we're gonna fake details with that. And to create a control that are going to manipulate how strong the normal is, we need to understand a few things. First, the normal has 3 channels. So you can see here that we are outputting the RGB. So we are outputting the 3 channels at the same time directly at the normal. And that's exactly what you need to do. We are doing the same thing here in the base color, in the roughness. But to create a control, a normal control in Unreal, we need to manipulate this channel separately. And why we need to do that? Well, in a normal map, the R, the G, and the B, they store different information in each of this channel. And when we append everything together, everything looks fine, but they have different properties. And you need to manipulate these properties separately and then join them together, similar as we did here in our UV control, where we need to separate the U channel and then the V channel and then join everything together. So we need to do something similar here, because we need to manipulate first the R and the G together, because the R, it's responsible for the information in the X direction of the texture, and the G, it's responsible for the Y direction of the texture. So we need to manipulate these values to generate, to increase or decrease how strong the normal effect is. So if I go here and I'm gonna go to the textures, we can see here that's a normal texture. That's our mossy ground texture. So the R and the G contain the information in the X and the Y. So if you increase or decrease the R and the G value, you're gonna change this color, the color of the map. And when you change the color, you're gonna increase or decrease how strong the effect of normal is. And then you need to use the B channel, because the B channel gonna grab the information on the R and the G and gonna translate this information to depth, and that's what's gonna generate the normal information. So what we need to do here? Well, we need to join the R and the G in one channel and the B in another. And that's gonna be a small exercise to you. So I want you to isolate the R and the G together and the B separately. So try to do that, and then I'm gonna do that together. Okay, so to do that, I'm gonna go here and grab my R, G, and B, and I'm gonna search for the component mask, this one over here. And as we saw in the last video, I can check which channel I want to isolate. So I'm gonna check the R and the G. So now I have these 2 channels isolating this component mask. Okay, nice. And now I need to do the same thing with the blue channel. For the blue channel, I have 2 options. I can go here and use directly this thing over here, and that's gonna be my blue channel. Or I can go over, for the sake of consistency, and go to the RGB and create another component mask and mask just the B, like that. Nice. So now what we need to do with each of these channels? Well, I need to multiply the value of R and G. So I'm gonna go and use a multiply node and I need to have some value to multiply in the b. And we already know how to do that. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to search for a scalar parameter. And this scalar parameter is going to be our normal strength. And I'm going to place here and I'm going to set this value to 1, which is the default value. And now I need to join my R, G, and B values together and plug them directly in my normal. And that's going to be another small exercise to you. So how can we append both of these channels? So give that a try, and then we're going to do that together. Well, to do that, we can do the same thing as we did in the last video, using the append vector. Then I'm going to append them and then plug it to the normal. Okay, so you can see that we don't have any errors. I'm going to go and hit apply. I'm going to go back to my environment and I want to open this mossy ground over here. So we're going to go to the materials, open my mossy ground, and you can see now that I have this normal strength. So now if I go here and set this value to 0, it's the same that don't have any normals. If I set the value to 1, it's the same value that we have using the map that we are using. Any value between 0 and 1 gonna be a more subtle effect. But I can also go here and increase this value to 5, for instance. And now we can see that our normals is much stronger than it was before. And depending the material that we are creating, this control is very handy because sometimes we can see now that because you have a lot of grooves and a lot of dents here in this texture, when you increase the amount of normals, the material looks better. And doing that this way, we can control our normals. It might be a little bit overwhelming because you have a lot of concepts here and you need to understand and think about channels and so on. But in this way, you can control the normals. And in the next video, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but I'm going to create a material function to hold all these nodes over here to make our material more organized and also reutilize the normals when you need to create another materials. So see you there.